How's it going, everybody? Welcome into this week's episode of Galactic Tactics, where we're talking about everything Twin Suns and Star Wars Unlimited. This week, we will be talking about some of the new possible staples for the Twin Suns format, the hard hitters, the bangers, the things that are the cards that are going to be in every single person's list. If you're playing this color, you're probably going to be playing these cards. So let's begin. First off, we're going to be talking about the leaders. Leaders are the start of every single person's deck, the baseline of everything. Going through all the leaders, everything really goes towards villainy. A lot of the villains, as well as the Imperials, have a lot of support. So I feel like a lot of people are going to kind of go this way, as there is a lot of kind of power cards for this archetype. Starting with Director Krennic. Not necessarily everyone's favorite leader, but starting off with him, he is a 5 blue-black, not that you'll be playing him, 2/7, Director Krennic on the ground. His ability, when he is in the leader zone, each friendly damage unit gets +1/+0. So that is going to, it's an edict effect. It goes towards every single one of your units if it's been attacked once. Chances are you're going to get this buff on your units, whether that be you attacking into somebody else, them attacking into you. You're going to really get this off, and it's going to kind of push your power level a little bit more to you being either, just kind of the public enemy number one, or everyone's kind of backing off of you as you kind of get this incremental power throughout. When you deploy him, each friendly damage unit gets +1/+0, as well as restore 2. So when this unit attacks, heal 2 damage from your base. It's going to be huge with kind of everybody attacking everybody, just kind of a way to increase the health on your base. I've kind of gathered in my play testing that every single Restore 2 is going to be huge. Restore and Sentinel are kind of the two big abilities with the cards and kind of power level. If you use these two, then you're definitely going to be getting a solid amount of work going. Next up, Grand Moff Tarkin. Another one, Imperial. He's a 5 green-black for 2/7 Imperial Officer. When he's in the leader zone before he's deployed, for his action, use 1 resource and exhaust him. Give an experience token to an Imperial unit. Green is really good, or really going to be good at ramping. You have with the Super Laser Technician, that is a 3/2/1. When defeated, you may put this unit into play as a resource. So it's kind of a quick attack, got a decent attack stat, so you can probably trade with something and then get a resource after that. There is also Alliance Dispatcher. For an action, exhaust Alliance Dispatcher, play a unit from your hand, it costs 1 less, so just another way to ramp. So you shouldn't be behind using Grand Moff Tarkin's ability, which is awesome to get ahead of everybody again. Trying to get more resources than everybody else in that format. So as long as you are up as opposed to everybody else, you're really going to be ahead on the multiplayer. So with Imperials, they've got a whole lot of support. Starting with Gideon Hask. He's a 5 blue-black 5/5. When an enemy is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. Imperial units and Rebel units are going to be kind of the biggest archetypes starting off. With the Spark of the Rebellion, it's Imperials against the Rebels. That's kind of the baseline of everything. So the more cards we get to help out all the Imperial troops, the Rebel troops are going to be huge. Right now, I think Imperials kind of have the leg up when it comes to their effects, abilities, and really supporting the Imperial archetype. When an enemy unit is defeated, give an experience token to a friendly unit. It doesn't need to exhaust, and you're playing against 3 folks. So anytime another enemy is defeated, that's 3 separate players, you're going to get an experience token. So that's up to 3 experience tokens per round, go around, which can really put you up against everybody else when you're trying to flood the board with bigger units. Darth Vader, he's an Imperial. 7 green black 5/7. When played, search the top 10 cards of your deck for any number villainy units with combined power 3 or less. Play each of those. Darth Vader, he's probably always going to be an Imperial. Same with Emperor Palpatine. These kind of big bads, they get the Imperial support. So the two big bads, Darth Vader, Emperor Palpatine, the two big bads of the Imperials. So anytime anything says help an Imperial, it's going to help them out, as well as Sith, as well as Force. So these big bads, they're really going to do a lot of pushing power in the late games. You know, with so many folks, you're going to probably have 10 resources ready, while folks are still at, you know, 20-25 health, while you're really getting everything ready. And then General Veers, we'll talk a little bit more about him later. He's a 3 black, 3/3. Other friendly Imperials get +1/+1. So this is all Imperials. Again, you're giving that to Darth Vader, you're giving that to Emperor Palpatine, you're giving that to all of your Imperial units, all your Stormtroopers, all of your X-Wings. It's not just in one unit or another, which is going to be huge. The more sets that are printed, the more support that everyone's going to get on the Imperial side. So kind of starting off, you know, building these 50-card decks, while Twin Suns is still in its infancy before the third set, definitely leading into Imperial is going to give you a little bit more support for power. Talk about Thrawn. So Thrawn, just like him in canon, he is Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's a 6-drop yellow-black for a 3/9. When the action phase starts, so at the beginning of the action phase, look at the top card of each player's deck. So that's every deck. So you have 4 cards that you just know are going into people's hands. For his action, you can spend a resource and exhaust Grand Admiral Thrawn. Reveal the top card of any player's deck, exhaust a unit that costs the same or less than reveal card. So this is guaranteed advantage. You know what the resource cost of all the cards on the top are, so you can automatically just pick a card and exhaust it. You really know what's going on. And then when he hits the battlefield, again, look at the top card of each player's deck. On attack, you may reveal the top card of any player's deck, exhaust a unit that costs the same or less than revealed card. Same thing, so you're still getting that card advantage, but on attack this time. So you're kind of getting in that ping. He's got a solid body with that 9, probably going to take a 2-3 shots. Enemies are definitely going to focus fire here, but again, he's an Imperial, so he's getting all that Imperial support of everybody else. So I'm really thinking that, you know, the Imperial archetype is the tribal type, if you want to call it that, is definitely has a leg up on the Rebels and the other archetypes as well. The capital ships, they definitely are going to be your finishers. And to finish any game, you always need a win condition. Right now, there's not like crazy combos. There's a few with Leia kind of going in for those double attacks, with adding, I think it's ambush and raid and all that, getting him going so you can do, I think, like 20 damage in one turn, but that's not always guaranteed in a singleton format. So having these big bombs is going to be a solid win condition. Starting with the Avenger. It's a 9 blue-black, 8/8 when played and on attack. An opponent chooses a non-leader unit they control, defeat that unit. So as soon as you drop Avenger, big Imperial vehicle capital ship, it's also getting that +1/+1 and any other support that your Imperials are getting. So yes, the ships also Imperial, also getting that tribal, which is super awesome for the Imperials. Again, I can't say this enough, is Imperials definitely has a leg up on everyone else when it comes to the multiplayer format. As soon as you play it, you choose a non-leader, or I guess your opponent chooses a non-leader, they're probably going to choose their weakest unit, and defeat that unit. So if you can get this to ready attack, ASAP, and every other attack, it'll definitely probably be able to take a couple hits. Hopefully politic enough to get the Avenger back around the table, but this is definitely all eyes on you when you drop all of these capital ships. The Devastator, 10 green and a black, 10/10 with Sentinel and Overwhelm. When played, you may deal damage to a unit equal to the number of resources you control. So by this point, you own 10 resources. You drop Devastator, you're destroying another capital ship. You're destroying their big bad, you're destroying their leader. Again, all eyes on you. Hopefully you have a way to attack with this, get that overwhelm damage into the base on attack. With Sentinel, it's going to be your tank, so it's definitely going to absorb a few hits. You have 10, so it's probably going to take 2, 3, maybe 4 enemy attacks. So hopefully you have a good board state to do something to protect your Devastator. Again, these are hard-hitting win cons, but again, you're also dealing with 3 other players. So if you drop a Devastator or another capital ship and no one else has one, or they haven't drawn their big bad yet, you're definitely going to have a target on your head. With the Chimera, 8 yellow and a black for an 8/7, comes in shielded, so it gets to eat 1 attack. This is Grand Admiral Thrawn's ship. On attack, name a card. An opponent reveals their hand and discards a card with that name from it. Hopefully you know what's going on in their hands, whether you bounce something to it or you've seen it with Admiral Thrawn's ability. But obviously this is another has a big body, comes in shielded. Just a nice swing. Hopefully you have more Sentinels if you have Devastator on one turn, the Chimera on the next turn, or you just keep dropping capital ship after capital ship in those later turns. You're going to start overwhelming pretty fast. And remember, you only have to defeat 1 other opponent in order to end the game. So you're not just, you don't have to fend off 3 people. If everyone kind of focuses down on the weakest link, and you can kind of get that restore back with one of your leaders, or opponents swing in with that kill, get 5 health back to your base, and hopefully win as well. And then home 1, a rebel ship. Again, all the capital ships are all going to be the super star destroyers, but home 1, the Mon Calamari ship, 8 green rebel, heroic, 7/7, restore 2. So each other friendly unit gains restore 1. This is going to be huge if you can get a few attacks off with those other units. If you have a nice board state, it's kind of flavorful because it is that home ship. I believe it's where Luke kind of restored his arm, got that robot arm back. And then when played, you may play a hero unit from your discard pile. It costs 3 less. So kind of card recursion. Which is awesome to get back in, especially if someone took out, one of your big ships. So even Chimera would be an 8/7/6, a 5-drop. So that would be pretty nice. Except you can't play those together because they're hero ability. But it's got a lot going for it. Restoring your base with it on top, and then giving all of your other units that restore 1. So for every attack that they have, you pair this with Leia. Getting a couple attacks in, that's at least 2 health back to your base right there. Then Relentless, back to the Imperials. It's a 9 green black for an 8/8. The first event played by each opponent each round loses all abilities. So this is just a nope card. This says, really, you can't play event cards. If you do, it doesn't matter. So it loses all their abilities. This is kind of wild. Again, you're getting a big target on your back with that big body. On that big Star Destroyer. So nice little card advantage, kind of shutting down everyone else's game plan, especially if they're running events heavy decks, which I'm sure some folks will. There's a little bit of event support as well, I believe, with the yellow vigilance aspect. So generals, you're gonna have General Dodonna and General Veers. Kind of every single Imperial or Rebel deck are going to have these 2 cards. General Dodonna is 4/4/4. Other friendly Rebel units get +1/+1. He's a Rebel official. And then General Veers, 3 and a black, 3/3. Other friendly Imperial units get +1/+1. So if you're playing a heroic deck, you're probably playing General Veers. If you have a heroic, you're playing General Dodonna, and if you have a villainy, you're playing General Veers. They don't have any other aspects tied to them. So basically, you pick hero, you're playing Dodonna, you're playing villains, you're playing General Veers. And that's going to buff up because you can't really think about them as, a 3/3. You definitely want to protect them, get shields on them. For every +1/+1 they give to another unit, they get +1. So you have one of the units, General Veers becomes a 4/4. You have 2 other units, becomes a 5/5. and so on as you keep building out your units. Again, this goes from ground and space. This is all of your units. These two cards are definitely going to be played in every single Twin Suns deck, as long as, you know, they're in Imperial or Rebel. I'm sure as the sets go on, we're going to have the First Order. You'll have not Rebel. Yeah, I guess, are they still Rebels in the pre-trilogy, or not trilogy, the post-trilogy? I can't remember. What would it be in the prequels? Senators, Jedi. They didn't really have factions. I guess a Separatist. They'll probably have a Separatist one with what is his name? The Trade. I guess with the Trade Federation. And then Separatist, Count Dooku. Actually, is Count Dooku a Separatist? Yeah, he's a Separatist. So, Count Dooku being a Separatist, they've already kind of implied that there will be a Separatist, almost tribe. So it'll probably be a general for the Separatists as well. Whether that be like the main combat droid general or one of the other Separatists, they will definitely have these cards. So Sentinel. Chewie's got this. He's a 5 yellow-white, 3/6 Sentinels. Units in this arena can't attack your non-Sentinel units or your base. So this is kind of like a taunt in MMO, forcing your opponents to attack here before you can attack their base. So this is a way to slow down enemy units. You can still attack with your Sentinel units, and then whenever Chewie is attacked, you ready him. So if you attack with Chewie, he gets exhausted, they attack into Chewie, you get him again, you attack, so that's 6 damage, and you can probably take a 2-shot, so you'll probably get 2 attacks out of him before your opponents defeat him. But if you're adding, you know, those experience tokens, adding on, you know, just buff after buff after buff, if you get him shields from Luke Skywalker, then you can reuse Chewie. Baze, 4 and a blue for a 2/5. He also has grit, so this unit gets +1/+0 for each damage to him. This is also a way to kind of get your opponents to not attack into him as he gets stronger. So you might not trade with the first one, but you'll definitely trade with the second attack going into Baze. With that Sentinel, they're attacking into him, so automatically, you know, in order to get to your base, they have to go through Baze, so he gets stronger. Bright Hope, not necessarily a capital ship, but is a 4 green-white 2/5 with Sentinel, and when played, you may return a friendly non-leader ground unit to its owner's hands if you do draw a card. So, kind of a way to maybe get Chewie or another card back into your hand. This is kind of where the Rebels shine, is with that kind of that defense. It's not nearly as offensive as the Imperials, which is very flavorful for the Star Wars universe. You know, the Imperials are going through, they're attacking worlds, they're enslaving people, and then all the Rebels want to do is live. They want to live, be free, which is awesome. So then the Bendu. Bendu is probably one of my favorite cards. Definitely going to be a staple in all blue decks. It's 6 blue for a 4/7. With Sentinel, units in this arena can't attack your non-Sentinel units, so we know that. And then on attack, the next non-heroic and non-villainy card you play this phase costs 2 less. So these are going to be some of your events. You can even play Baze for cheaper. So this is every attack. We're going to definitely get you advantage. Going to be a staple in every single blue deck. In some decks, you know, that maybe ramp off if you're going, you know, green-red or mono-green, they have ways to kind of, you know, ramp into some more resources. So it could be, you know, a 10 cost, but it might be worth it in some decks if you're running it right. Which is nice to remember because, you know, you're not completely forced to go, you know, for these 2 colors, these 2 colors, these 3 colors. You can play colors outside, it just costs a penalty. So kind of those are my definite stable cards, you know, kind of walking into the format, not knowing exactly how things are going to play out before being able to play live with other folks with these cards. But definitely, all these cards, you're going to see a whole lot of Imperial focus in those Imperial support cards. So I think it might be 60-40, maybe 70-30. when you see these first 50 card decks before we get the next few sets of kind of more Imperial focus, just because it has the most support for everything, kind of the most synergy, kind of baked in before kind of seeing the crazy off the walls. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any other cards that you think might be staples in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you know our next video. We'll be doing more deck techs, probably more staples after we play, as well as just kind of impressions on live gameplay in stores and hanging out. So thanks. Until next time, may the force be with you.